Hello and welcome back to a review with me, Kevin, from Kevin Grant on Whisky. This week it's not so much as a versus challenge, it's more of a value challenge, and should we be paying something similar a little bit more, or can we get something similar for a little bit less and a bit more of enjoyment? So the two that you can see here are both Lagavulin, both Islay whiskies, big hitting. As I say, the 16-year-old Lagavulin is what got me into whisky. My first ever PT whisky, and the understanding of the differences between kind of soft tropical notes and floral notes from Highlands and Speyside, and come across something peaty which I'd never experienced before. So the 16-year-old does hold close to me. The issue you do get with the 16-year-old though is it's hard to get, and the price has shot up over the years. So I've got a wee red dot on this and a red dot on this glass to represent the 16. We've also got the Challenger, which is the Lagavulin 8-year-old. As you can see, there's quite a lot out of this as well, so I need to maybe restock on that. In this glass, also the blue dot to the blue glass is the 8-year-old. So straight away, the differences are uncanny. Colour, 16-year-old has a lot more colour. The 8-year-old is very light, real bourbon cask influence to it. We break down the 16-year-old, there is colouring added to it. It is 8 years older as well. So 16-year-old and 8-year-old. But there's going to be similarities on the nose, the palate, the feel. So we look at this older whisky being watered down to 43% ABV. A bit of colouring has been added for that world or global market to keep it the same, consistent is what they want to do. Diageo want to keep it consistent. So the return buyer is always going to be having the same experience and looks the same and nothing's changed. But we look at the 8-year-old, and this is 48%. This is 5% ABV more. It's hard to always find if it's chill filtered, non-chill filtered. I'm going to say there's absolutely no colouring added to it. It's going to be a full 8-year-old maturation, probably bourbon cask. By the way, this, how light it is. And then the 16-year-old has got a mix of bourbon and sherry and PX, I think it is, on that kind of breakdown. So I'm nursing my way through this. I got this for my birthday in May. And it's not one I really want to go through because it is hard to get back. So we'll look at price first. Lagavulin 16, £75, round about that mark you're picking it up for online if you can find it, which is quite pricey from what it used to be a few years ago. Go to the 8. The 8 is about £40 to £45. Finding it in supermarkets just now, that's been put right out there, and both are also core range. So I'm going to try them side by side. We're going to nose them, we're going to sample them. I've got no water because I know I like them without water, so I'm not going to add anything like that. I've just put the wee stoppers in there just now on top to stop the room filling up and trying to catch me out. I'll go with the 8 first just because it's younger, it's a bourbon cask, and the 16's got a bit more complexity to it with that sherry notes and things. So we'll take this wee topper off on the blue one, which is our 8-year-old, and we'll get this on the nose. I always get the kind of, I found Lagavulin's always a kind of sweeter peat compared to your Ardbegs and Lefroy's. It's this sweeter, softer kind of tropical notes again on that. It is a sweeter dram. Peat is there, you can just about smell it. Salty ocean breeze, that salty water. Just been right on the coast and just bombarded with that ocean breeze for its full life. Since it's been founded in 1816, it's been forever. So on the nose, I really like it. It's more sea breeze, it's tropical, soft peat in there, a little bit of alcohol hit to it. It is a little bit fiery for that age, I think, but that's fine. So we'll take this off and we'll smell this as well. So the 16 just jumps out. There's a lot more, it's complex. Those sweeter red berry notes, that sherry. Still a little bit of ocean breeze. I see there's a little bit more peat in this, maybe a little bit more meat, kind of like steak on the barbecue, which has been lightly charred. Maybe a sweet potato kind of side to it, there's a sweetness there, but there's a heaviness and a kind of meaty note. There's definitely a dryness as well from the 16. And there's a kind of creamy note now when you smell them side by side. It's kind of creamy custard note on the 8-year-old. So let's get the 8 on the palate. Let's see what the palate does. Let's see what I would choose here, kind of value for money, and what this is going to need to be bought again shortly anyway, regardless of the result. And this I need to just kind of hold on to a bit more, just for it was a gift and I do like it. So let's see. Here we go. 8-year-old first. Slange everyone. Really good mouthfeel. It's that dry smoke at the end. It's wonderful, as if once it goes down, you know, sometimes when you put a fire out, you put a candle out, if you blow it out, then you just start to see that smoke rise from it. Just when it finishes, you usually get a really nice, I think a nicer smell just at the end when you blow it out. It's just finishing. It's as if you've blown the fire out and it's just giving you those sweet notes, that custard note that's coming back up. There's more of like a sweet barley water as well that comes through in that just now. These real kind of bourbon-esque, tropical, not meaty at all. It has a lighter note, still that little bit sea breeze there. But yeah, there's that little bit of kind of barley water. So let's try the 16. So as we say, we're going sherry, we're going different cask types here. Same distillery, but we're going different cask types. So the DNA is going to be the same. There's just a slight twist on how this has been made. How the older whiskey compares from being settled for so long as well, by sitting for 16 years. I just can't not love that, you know. It's a softer way going down. That could be to do with the ABV, but I think it's actually more to do with its age and how it has reacted with the casks in that time. It's a little bit more settled. I think I like to use the word polite. It's quite polite to you. That little bit of age. It's not as fiery and got as much going on. It's settled, easy going, softer, I would say. Smoke at the end, there's not as much as in comparison to the bourbon side of things with it. So I'll smell them side by side. I'm going to go in between now for what taste wise I can get, but that's just got that easy going down, typical sherry notes, soft. You can just, it's weird, you can smell dryness off it, like that dry sherry. It's weird, like smelling side by side on the nose. I know I love the 16, but the 8 for me just got more going on for probably less cask makeup, because this has maybe had 3 different styles of bourbon, sherry, and PX potentially. This I think is just all bourbon. A little bit more lively, more relaxed. This is your. It's hard, I'm a wee bit biased because I love it. This is what got me into whiskey. It's easy sipping. It's got more bite to it. Salivates your mouth more. Drying slightly on the 16. So the 16's got this kind of slightly meaty, I said sweet potato in that sense, of a little sweet note to it as well. Softer peat, softer smoke. Light berries and cherries and dark fruits. You move to the 8, really light, really tropical. There's more peat there, sweet barley water, and more kind of smoke at the end. For me, I remember seeing this and picking it up because I thought the deal in Scotland, we have a grocery store, would we call it, supermarket, and it's called Tesco, and I found this and it was on the club card, which is a free card you get, and I think I got it for £35, and usually it's 40, somewhere around that way. So I thought it's a great buy and I enjoy it. I think value for money, 8-year-old whiskey, £40, say 45 tops for 48% Isla. I would get it again if it's on special, I think, because you can maybe get like a 10-year-old Port Charlotte for £50, 50% ABV, and a little bit more bite again for £5 more. So you're paying like £2.50 a year, really, aren't you? If you do the math. 16-year-old, £75 now. Hard to get. You're kind of scratching places. You don't walk into specialist stores anymore. I really rarely see it on shelves. You're having to look online, and again, finding them online is difficult as well. So there must be something going on. There must be a stock issue, I imagine, and that's why we're seeing so much of this 8-year-old put out a really good price. For me today, the dram that I enjoy most from the same distillery, yes, different makeup, is the 8-year-old. There's just a bit more bite to it, that little bit more ABV, that real, I think I'm in a real good bourbon cask mode just now as well, those kind of tropical flavours I'm after. But that little bit of peat at the end, just, I enjoy it. It's like a fizzy note as well, only like a sherbet note now I'm getting. And I think that's a good thing when you try whiskey and you do side by side, maybe similar, two peaty whiskies or two similar, well, let's say from the same house, so from Lagavulin, things start to open and start to change. You open different tasting notes from jumping back and forth. As I say, the DNA is the same. It's the same new make spirit, put in different casks and aged for a different time. I've enjoyed them both. The 16's the love of my life, but the 8's again a newfound hero for me. So for here, I'm going to be picking the 8-year-old. I would recommend to buy before the 16, just for price point and quality for today. Ask me over the winter period, this will probably change when I go into my kind of sherry mode and that darker nights, and you want those sweeter kind of vibes to it. But I'm going to go back and finish both of these anyway. Not bottles, drams, because there's a lot in there and a lot in here, and I don't think I'd feel too good tomorrow. So I'm going to go and sit back, enjoy, working all weekend. So my last little kind of hoorah before we go back. But thanks everyone for tuning in. Thanks for subscribing. If you've not done so, subscribe already for weekly content. If you do like these videos of a little challenge side by side, let me know. I can try and do some more. I am coming to the back end of my collection over the couple of years, being able to put these videos out. So I'm just trying to think of new ideas. So if you've got any ideas for me, please let me know in the comments below. Like, subscribe, share, tell your friends. And as always, I've been Kevin from Kevin Grant on Whisky. Join me next week. Let's talk whiskey. Slange.